Hi Alex, how are you doing? It's been a little while since we've seen each other, so you know how sometimes I like to do an emotional check-in to just see how you're doing. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's go. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a 7.5.
All right, first, can you identify what good means? Because it definitely can be defined differently depending on who you are. And what's a 7 and a like? What's 7.5 feel like to you?
I don't really know how to explain what good means. I mean, great, but not that. Sorry, I mean, I know that doesn't really answer your question. 7.5, I feel positive right now because I'm looking forward to coming here and speaking with you. It helps remind me that I'm not alone in this process and that there's someone that cares.
All right, good. I'm glad I can help reassure that you're not alone because you definitely aren't. And the feelings and everything, I'm not going to use the word normal because what is normal, but it happens. It happens to all of us. And it's good that you're here trying to talk about what's going on. So not only you can help yourself, but so someone else can. I know the last time we met, which was like a little while ago, I asked you if you could try to journal. You said you were open to it, so let's discuss. How'd it go?
Some days I forgot to do it, honestly.
That's okay.
But it's interesting because those were the days that I felt was feeling better. I was feeling happier and more motivated. The other days, basically like the majority, I remembered to journal. I'm hoping I'd start to remember to journal on the good days too because I don't want to be tracking patterns of just bad.
Right.
I noticed in the mornings were really difficult because I instantly felt bad and in an irritable mood.
Okay. All right. So I understand that in the morning specifically you felt more agitated and irritable. And you didn't journal on the days you felt happier, which that's a really good thing that you noticed. What were your initial thoughts, if you remember, when you were journaling?
It was easier to journal when I was mad or upset because I had a lot of emotions going through me, and I could basically write forever.
Okay.
I found myself distracted, though, when I was feeling happy.
Okay.
I was able to stay awake and watch a show I enjoy or actually talk to my parents.
Okay.
There wasn't much to journals, or, that's what I thought when I was happy. While we're talking about it right now, I'm realizing that there was still a lot to journal, even if I was feeling happy. I guess I correlated, journaling with, negative thoughts and feelings that I should try again, maybe.
Yeah, I'm glad that you can see how that connects and how we shouldn't only be writing when things are bad. A lot of people will think that at times where it's just oh, I'm feeling bad or I'm sad, let me write something down. But it also matters when you're feeling happy and stuff. Why do you feel happy? What's happening? How long does it last for? Things like that. But also, I'm glad that's all good. Is there anything else you want to say with that? No? Okay. So let's follow up and discuss how you're doing with your medication. Let me just see. I'm just looking at your file. It's been a few weeks since we've seen each other. So how long ago did you start the medication? Are you sure? I mean, do you know? Because I know last time you weren't sure.
I mean, I asked my psychiatrist, and she said it's now 4 months. I guess I didn't realize I started it so long ago.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's probably because I wasn't feeling any differently, which is beyond frustrating.
Yeah, I understand. It's definitely frustrating when things don't work out the way we would like it to. But I want to point out it's very important to be patient. And I know it's hard. And it seems like that you could feel everything but patient. But it takes time, like we've talked about in our past sessions. It takes some time for the medication to work in full effect.
Yeah, I know you said that, but I get mad just thinking about it, how it really hasn't helped much at all. I don't think I want to take it anymore. It only worked for me 3 weeks, and even then, it's not like anything was great.
Okay, so I understand that you've been taking it for 4 months, and out of the 4 months, you really only feel like it's worked for 3 weeks, if even that. And now you're thinking, well, it's not even really working, why am I on it? So I think it'd be important to discuss what would be the outcomes if you stayed on the medication, and what could some of the outcomes be if you stopped the medication?
I mean, the outcomes I've hoped for hasn't been, so there aren't any positive outcomes if I kept taking the medication.
All right, so you use the word positive, and you say the outcomes you've hoped for. Can you identify and explain what outcomes you have hoped for?
Feeling better, obviously. I feel worse because I just feel so negative now. I've lost any faith I had once on the medication working. I just feel doomed. So what's the point to keep taking it and having false hope, like circling the drain?
I understand having false hope is just causing you to want to stop taking the medication, that you just haven't found any success so far. Have you thought of any outcomes that may take place if you do stop taking the medication?
I mean, I don't see any positive outcomes if I were to stop the medication, other than accepting that this is how I'm going to feel and I'm stop having false hope, and both aren't even positive. A negative outcome would be losing motivation to get help. Maybe I would stop seeing you as a result and then be back to square one.
All right, so let's move forward with everything you just said, because it sounds to me like moving back to square one and losing all hope isn't something you necessarily want to happen. Is that correct?
Yes, I don't want any of that to happen. I just want to feel better, but the medicine makes me feel weird and embarrassed.
All right, so weird, feeling embarrassed. These are new emotions you haven't brought up before. How long have you been aware of the emotions?
I felt them for some time now, but I didn't want to bring it up yet. I was hoping it would disappear once I got used to the medication.
Okay. So you feel embarrassed by taking the medication, and it makes you feel upset. Have you felt this way prior to taking medication?
I don't know if I did. I wasn't aware of it. It's probably because of the medication that's causing me to feel like this. I hate the medication.
All right. I'm really glad you're talking about this because clearly you have some negative feelings, but I first want to commend you that you're discussing how you're feeling. You're not just quitting. You're allowing yourself to find out, like, what can you do, what should you do, what shouldn't you do. So can you describe the feelings that you're feeling, referring to what you've been feeling on the medication?
Well, I mean, I feel foggy, and sometimes I find myself shaky and sweaty. I've had to leave class to change my shirt before. It probably wasn't that noticeable, but it made me feel self-conscious.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that because we haven't really, well, actually, I remember past few times we've met, you haven't really had any, at least you haven't discussed any feelings of insecurities or anything like that, so this is definitely something new that you're feeling. All right, so you mentioned that if it even did work, it only worked maximum 3 weeks. Can you explain how you felt when you felt as if it was effective?
I had energy to get up in the morning. I started going back to work. It didn't last, though. It basically been a mixture of moving forward and taking 2 steps back throughout the month.
All right. So first, let's recognize the positive parts of your response. That's great that you were feeling more energized and that you felt like you wanted to go to work and you were able to. But I understand it's frustrating because it wasn't a consistent feeling. You weren't consistently feeling energized. You weren't consistently feeling like, yes, let's go to work. I feel like myself again. So now let's discuss, how were you feeling when the medication was ineffective?
I wasn't myself. I always wanted to be in bed, and whenever I wasn't, that's all I could think about. Concentration seemed nearly impossible, even in English. It's my favorite subject. Being so distracted caused me to feel anxious and nervous at school all day.
All right. It's interesting you bring this up because I know you haven't really brought up anything with school yet. So I know you work, and that's been a difficult thing. But I forgot, actually, and I'm glad you brought it up that you're taking classes again. So I understand that that's really frustrating when you're not able to concentrate, especially in a class such as English, which you love and you have a passion for. So it's interesting because this is the second time that you brought up emotions that I haven't really heard you discuss before. So would you say, are these anxious and nervous feelings something new?
I mean, it gets me angry. I'm usually not a nervous or anxious person, so it's really uncomfortable and different. It's causing me to feel like I'm a stranger to myself.
Oh, okay. We definitely don't want you to feel like a stranger to yourself. So let's definitely discuss what you think we can do together to help.
I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm here. You're supposed to have the answer.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest. I've heard that before. I'm here to help you and give you guidance, but I don't want you to view me as an answer key to a test or to your questions. Okay. I encourage you to think along with me during our session so we can work together as a team. Does that sound okay?
I mean, I know I shouldn't stop taking the medication. That isn't the right answer, and you and the doctors know what you're doing. Medications wouldn't have been prescribed if it wasn't necessary. Maybe I could talk to the doctor and express my concerns, but what if I don't like what they have to say?
I definitely think it's good that, one, you're thinking about talking to a doctor, and you bring up a very relevant point that you may not like what they have to say, and we don't like that because it kind of diverts the whole conversation, and you might just be really negative and be like, I want to leave. Why did I do this? But it's important to talk to your doctor about your concerns. They are the ones prescribing you medication, so it's essential for them to know how you're feeling. And remember how we were talking about journaling? Mm-hmm. This would be a perfect thing to do to use when you see your doctor, because then you have everything written out.
I mean, I've spoken to my doctor before, and she just said to keep taking it and give me more time. I know you said it's important to have patience, but I'm becoming extremely impatient.
I understand why you become impatient. It makes sense. So I don't want you to think oh, everyone else can be patient with this stuff. It's only me. It makes sense. But also, it'll definitely be beneficial to follow up with the doctor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's been well over around a month or two since you've spoken to your doctor. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been a while. I guess, like you've said, it's in the past. If we want to see change, we have to make change. That change could be speaking up for myself and talking to the doctor.
Good. I'm glad you remembered that, because that is true. If we want something to change, we can't just sit there and do nothing. So you've stepped up and you've taken medication, which I know is a big decision for you. But it'll definitely also be good to now talk to the doctor. And I'm very proud that you can acknowledge the importance of advocating for yourself. It's very, very important. Proud of you.
Thanks. Can you help me come up with a plan of what I should tell my doctor? Because I don't know where to go from here.
Of course. Let's recap by reflecting on what we've discussed today. What are some of the emotions you brought up?
I feel anxious and nervous sometimes, and during school, and at times it causes me to sweat and feel dazed, and sometimes I wake up feeling really agitated and annoyed. I feel let down since my medication hasn't really been helping me feel better, even though all those negative feelings, I know deep down that I will be better off to stay on the medication.
All right, I'm glad that you can identify that how you're feeling for the most part. Negativity losing hope, feeling doomed. But it's great because sharing those emotions and explaining how you felt, well, how you haven't necessarily felt this way before would be very important for the doctor to know. I would recommend you going into the appointment with an open mind, because there is a chance that the doctor may say the same thing as he did last time with give it some more time, and that's probably going to frustrate you, as that makes sense. But I would definitely say you're more aware of how you're feeling this time, so I think that'll help you advocate for yourself. And also, like we mentioned before, if you keep using the journal, that will help you so much because you can bring that with you to the appointment. And while you're expressing yourself, you can be like, oh, look, like this day I felt like this and this is what was happening and things like that.
Thank you. I mean, I think I can do it. I'm going to try, hopefully, before the next time I see you so we can talk about it. So thanks.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Of course. I think we discussed a lot today. I'm really glad that you were able to speak up. And really glad that you might go and talk to the doctor. It'll definitely benefit you. So keep on journaling, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. And hopefully it'll be about how it went with the doctor. Okay?
Okay.